Just a minute,
What do you
Anderson.
mean, barging in here as they owned the place?
Turn out your bedding.
Oh.
These belong to you.
I've never seen them before, Mr. Fletcher.
I wish they was mine.
I think we better have a talk to the governor, don't you?
Yeah, well, they're not mine, and I don't know where they came from, but I didn't put them there, honest, Mr. Fletcher.
Come on, talk to the governor. Come on.
Oh.
Well, well, well. Fancy you being silly enough to let your hubby pass you that grog, eh?
He didn't.
I know. They were a wee present from me. You see, I had to get some excuse to see you alone. We've got important business matters to discuss, Doreen. Don't you think it's about time you made up your mind to sell that house, hmm? There's no rush, of course. Tomorrow will do fine. But if you haven't made up your mind to sell by then, I might just have to give you a little push. The same as I did with Gilmore. Easy, easy. Everything's all right. Look, everything's okay, see?
Please, keep away.
Oh, hold on there. Look. I wanted you to sleep in what I said last night, but I didn't want you to have nightmares. You, do remember our little talk last night, don't you? You know all you have to do to get a good night's sleep tonight, then, don't you, Just one phone call. That's all. Just one.
Hi, Amy.
Sleep in, Vincent.
Yeah, afraid so, Mr. Fletcher.
Well, hurry up. You'll miss breakfast.
Ready.
Not yet, you're not. Come on, fix up that bed.
Oh, can't I wait until after I've had breakfast?
I thought I recognized that voice.
Helen!
Ta-da! None other.
What do you want?
Absolutely nothing. Me and Carrie's friends from way back, that's all. Mind if I give her a hand with a bunk?
Well, if it'll help her get to breakfast any earlier, go ahead.
Ah.
Bit of a surly bastard, isn't he? Oh, not really. He lost his wife and kids just recently.
Oh. Well, geez, I didn't expect to see you in here. Thought they had you out in the sticks somewhere.
I didn't expect to see you either. Mind you, I hope I won't be here for much longer. I've got a parole hearing this morning.
Oh, great. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks. I reckon I'll need it.
So listen already. I get out of here myself in a few days. Maybe we get together for protection.
Oh, you're amazing.
Look, what do you mean just vandals? What do you call this thing? I mean, like slashing tyres, right? That's vandalism. But this, to me, is a threat.
Do you have any reason to believe that there's somebody out to get you, sir?
Well, yes, I do, actually. Me and my wife.
Mind giving me the details?
Yeah, all right. Look, a couple of months ago, my wife inherited her mother's house, and just recently, people have been putting pressure on her to sell it. You know, they made her an offer way above what the house is worth.
Why don't you sell?
Well, we don't want to. We want to live there.
I see. Could we talk to your wife?
Well, no, she's not here at the moment.
Then perhaps we could drop back later, when she's home.
Look, I know this sounds pretty stupid, but let's just forget it, shall we? I mean, there's been a lot of vandalism around here recently. Well, I'm just a bit uptight about it, that's all.
Yes, but what about these threats?
Yeah, well, you know, it's probably just my imagination. I mean, somebody did make a fairly big offer on the house, and my wife did knock it back, but... Look, probably just been watching too much TV, that's all.
Well, if we catch them, we'll let you know.
Great, thanks a lot.
Hello, Mr. Westmore? Yeah, Jock Stewart here, Wentworth Detention Center. I've got a bit of good news for you. I've got Mrs. Burns right here beside me. Just hang on 2 seconds. I'll be quick about it.
Hello? Yes, this is Mrs. Burns. Yes. Yes, I've decided to sell. Yes. Yes, I know what a verbal contract is.
What in heaven's name are you doing here, Anderson?
I'm sorry, Mr. Burns. I'll have to hang up right now.
Who was that?
Miss Bennett, I thought you'd a better memory than that. It's not Anderson anymore, it's Burns. Mrs. Burns, you know.
Yes, Mr. Stewart, I do remember. And I recall that Anderson, or Burns, or whatever she wants to call herself these days, was placed in solitary confinement. I don't recall a prison rule which permits phone calls while on loss of privileges. Official permission must be given for the use of the phone.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I just sort of acted on impulse. I'll go and report this to Mrs. Davidson right away.
Just a minute, Mr. Stewart. I'll decide whether this matter should be reported or not.
How many fags do you want, then?
What?
Fags! How many do you want?
Lizzie, Mr. Reed's doing you a favour, arranging a meeting with your daughter. You can't go knocking off his fags.
Of course I can, as long as I don't overdo it. Anyway, I reckon he expects me to knock off a few. Always has his fag box filled every time I go in there.
Yeah, well, you be careful, otherwise you'll end up in the pound with Doreen.
I'll be right. Poor old Dor.
Yeah.
What you want to do a stupid thing like that for? Trying to smuggle grog in here?
She didn't do it, it was done for her.
Hey, guys, I got new company.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, good day. Come back for a bit
Welcome
of a holiday.
home.
Yeah, come on.
guys.
Oh, smoke.
Oh, morning, Mrs. Jackson.
You know your detail?
Yes, I was going to deliver the meal.
Right. Everybody else move on down to the laundry.
Excuse me, Mrs.
Yes,
Jackson.
Vincent?
I'm supposed to be at a parole board
I'm
hearing.
aware of that. You stay with me.
Mrs. Jackson,
Yes, Lizzie.
can I see Mr. Reed about my daughter's visit?
Are there any other requests?
Yeah, I got a few, but I don't think you can help me out, Mrs.
Right,
J.
down to the laundry, B. I'll drop you at Mr. Reed's on the way through. Lizzie, come on.
Thanks, Mrs. Jackson.
Give me a call when you're through.
Will do. Come in, Lizzie, sit down.
There?
Yes, they're much more comfortable than that one.
Oh, I don't mind, Mr. Reed. Hard chairs are good for your posture.
Oh. Well, I must say that I'm delighted to hear that you've decided to at least see your daughter.
I can't do no harm, so long as she doesn't have a go at me for not keeping in touch all these years.
Oh, I don't think that's likely. She's the one who got in touch with you, remember?
Yeah. I suppose she wants me to see her own daughter. Can you imagine? Me, Lizzie Burnsworth, and Grandma. I wonder who she looks like.
Who, your daughter or your granddaughter?
Both of them, I suppose.
Well, you'll know soon enough. I'll get the wheels in motion and you should have your visit in the next day or so.
Thanks, Mr. Reed.
Lizzie, have you given any thought to what you're going to do once you leave here?
Not really. Suppose it depends on what me newfound family are like.
In other words, if you get along with them, you might move in with them, right?
Could do.
What about your plans to move in with Kevin and Doreen?
Oh, I don't think Kev and Dora'd mind. I mean, it's been nice having them for an adopted family, but blood's thicker than water. Anyway, they can visit me whenever they like, and it'd be nice for them to meet me.
Lizzie, just one.
Eh?
Just one cigarette, please. You're costing me a fortune.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Mr. Reed. Anyway, as I was saying, Dora and Kev'd be far happier without me hanging around, them being newlyweds, and they can enjoy their new house by themselves.
Righto, boys, let's get into it. Here, outside, down with the back. Come on. G'day, matey, can I help you?
Yeah, look, what's going on here? This is my house, or at least my wife's.
Oh, your missus? Struth, you must have had one hell of a blue. Hey, fellas, come here, here's another one. Put the house in his wife's name, they've had a blue and she's gone and sold the whole bloody lot on him.
Hey, look, what are you on about?
Listen, mate, it's none of my business, but if you've got any gear in there, I'd get in and get it out before she bloody well flogs that on you too.
Look, nothing's been flogged and bloody hell, you're trespassing.
I don't think so, mate. This is number 37 Patterson Street, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's number 35, and that's number 39,
Yeah,
right?
right, but I don't think that's got
and
anything...
I've got instructions to get these 3 joints ready for demolition. They're gonna build flats here, mate, so you'd better get down and make up with your Mrs. Mighty quick.
Look, there's nothing to make up because we haven't had a blow.
Yeah? Well, I reckon you're gonna be having one then, palsy, because the mob that I contract for reckon they got a verbal agreement out of it this morning. Still, if you've got your roller skates on, you might be able to get down there before the little woman signs on the dotted line, eh?
Right, well, that's what I'm going to do then. And before she does sign on the dotted line, get all this bloody gear and get it off my land.
We better do what he says, fellas, just in case. I'll better go and ring in. Hey, listen, 1 each, fix up the joint on either side. Come on.
Well, how's it going in there?
It's hard to say. Mrs. Davidson told me to go back to the laundry, so I suppose they're making their decision now.
Well, not without me, they're not. I've got to get my 2 cents worth in.
Mr. Reed.
Yes, Kerry?
Mr. Reed, look, if they do give me my parole, one of the conditions will be that I won't be able to associate with David Austin.
Oh, yes, that's quite on the cards. After what he's been up to, you could hardly expect them to turn you over to his care and protection, now, could you? Does that worry you?
A bit, yeah.
Why?
Well, you know, he's the only person I know on the outside. There's no one else. I guess after so long in prison, I'm a bit,
Scared?
Yeah, scared.
Well, there's really nothing to be scared of. Once you get settled into your studio and start showing a few paintings, you'll have lots of new friends flocking around you. Mind you, if you get really desperate, don't forget there are plenty of social workers. However, first things first, we've got to get you out of here. Meantime, you'd better go back to the laundry and keep your chin up, huh?
Yeah, I'll say. What's the word? Patience. Good luck.
Mrs. Jackson, look, I've got to see Doreen. It's terribly important.
Well, what is it this time, Mr. Burns? More brandy?
What?
We view your actions most seriously.
What actions? I just got here.
Oh, come on. Did you honestly think she'd get it past us?
Guess what? Mrs. Jackson, I don't understand what's going on, but I've got to see Doreen. It's terribly important.
Well, I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, your wife's in solitary confinement for 2 days, and all her privileges, including her visits from her husband, have been cancelled.
Yeah, but this is
I'm sorry, Mr. Burns. You cannot see your wife.
And that's the truth, Mrs. Jackson, honest. Look, I don't know anything about any booze.
Well, she got it from somewhere, and she tried to get it past us.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that bothers me, too. I mean, I can't understand why Doreen would be so stupid. Why take the risk?
Well, whether it bothers you or not,
yeah,
you don't
all right,
have...
I know. We don't have any proof.
Correct.
Fine.
And that leaves us right back where we started.
OK, right. Would you talk to Mrs. Davidson about
Mrs. Davidson would need proof as well.
Can I talk to B. Smith?
Yes, I suppose that'd be all right. But you'll have to submit to a full body search.
What?
Mr. Burns, we still don't have proof that you didn't bring the brandy
OK, let's just
in.
get on with it, shall we?
Wendy, would you contact Mr. Fletcher, please, and get him down here as soon as possible?
They're what?
Yeah, they're going to knock the whole bloody place down to make way with some flats.
Well, they must have offered her one hell of a price for the house then. The last I heard, you were determined not to sell.
That's what I thought. B, we've got to get a message.
No whispering, please.
Oh, look, come on, Mr. Fletcher. Can't you see this poor boy's beside himself, not knowing what's going on?
Yes, I can see that, but I'm
He
afraid...
can't do anything until he's talked to Doreen.
I'm sorry, Smith, but you know the rules.
Well, couldn't we bend the rules just a little bit? At least get a message to Doreen, let her know what's happening with the house and find out what she wants Kevin to do. Well, that's all you want, isn't it, Kevin?
Yes.
Look, Smith, Doreen's in solitary. There'll be no communication with her until she's released.
Yeah, well, that could be too late, Mr. Fletcher.
Yes, well, I'm sorry.
Oh, he's right. There's nothing anyone can do, not while she's in the pound. Shut off. Hey, gather round, girls. We've got a problem.
Is it about Dor?
Doreen and Kevin and some creeps were trying to bulldoze their house.
What creeps?
As far as I can make out, no one knows except Doreen.
You mean Dor knows?
Seems she got word out she wants to sell.
Oh, that doesn't make sense.
What do you mean it doesn't make sense? There's something about this whole setup that stinks. There's no way known she'd sell that place, not at any price.
Unless someone's putting the pressure on.
Oh, very good. Go to the top of the class.
Sorry.
Of course someone's putting pressure on. Question is who? And how's she getting word out of solitary?
I'll tell you something that does make sense.
What?
That grog the door got busted with. She wouldn't have been so careless.
Yeah, you reckon someone planted it on her?
I'll bet my pension for the next 10 years somebody wants her out of the way.
Yeah, and they've succeeded. What we have to do is open up lines of communication between Doreen and Kevin.
Oh, that's not going to be easy, Bea. That bagpipe-blowing heathen, he's got all the gates locked.
Well, there must be a way. If Doreen's getting word out...
I could do it.
Oh, no, forget it, Helen.
Oh, what's the matter? You don't trust me?
Was there any reason why I should?
Is there any reason why you shouldn't?
I reckon you'll have to, Bea, because she's the only one who can get into that area.
And don't forget, Madam Schmidt, they're letting me out of here tomorrow. No problems for me to get in touch with Kevin, pass on the information to Doreen.
All right, so you can get in touch with Kevin when you get out, but how are you going to get a message through to Doreen first?
You write a note. Let me worry about getting it to you.
Okay? But you get this, and you get it good. You foul things up, and you've had it.
The camels are coming. There's gonna be war.
Come on, we've got things to do.
Yeah, be right there. Who's that? Who? That screw.
Him. He's the bagpipe-blowing heathen Lizzie's always on about.
His name's Stewart, Jock Stewart.
Yeah, you know him?
Not personally, but I've seen him around the traps and I know some of the girls he trades with. Bagpipe-blowing heathen, eh? Yeah, well, the heathen bit's a fair comment.
What do you mean?
He's an animal. The girls call him the Highland Flinger.
Why?
Because that's how he gets his kicks. Flinging his fists about at him.
You mean he beats up on them?
Does he ever?
Oh, no, let him.
Well, of course they do. That's what he pays for, and big money.
Oh, that's vile.
Oh, it's not that bad. There's always one of the guys around to make sure he doesn't go too far. But I thought he was at Pentridge.
Yeah, he was.
That's enough, you two.
Oh, Mrs. Jackson, I didn't see you there.
Obviously. Now, you two aren't out of here yet. And any more talk like that could end you up in hot water.
Oh, what's the point? You lot wouldn't believe one of us anyway.
Well, what is there to believe? Do you want us to take action on the strength of every smutty rumour we hear against the staff of this prison? Now, you get back to the dining room.
Okay if I go to the toilet and wash up first?
Will you make it quick?
You can forget about lunch, Vincent. Just get back to your cell and pack up your things. Your parole's just come through.
Hi, Dory.
No talking.
Oh, now look what you made me do.
I made you do.
Yes, you got me in a dither with all that talk about getting myself into hot water. Oh, thank God I'll be out of here tomorrow. Get out of this place and talk to some civilised people.
Well, never mind about that. Just clean up the mess and get back to the dining room for another tray.
Oh, yes, and Mrs. Jackson. There we are, Miss Jackson, all cleaned up. Well, the big bits anyway. You want me to get a mop?
No, thank you. Sorry about your lunch, Doreen. We'll be back in a minute.
Hello.
Oh, it's you.
That little matter this morning.
What little matter was that?
You know, the one with Doreen Anderson.
You call that little. I'd be more inclined to call it gross.
Yeah, well, have you reported it yet?
No, not yet.
I see.
Do you, Mr. Stewart? And what exactly do you see?
That I've acted very, very foolishly. But you must understand, Miss Bennett. All my years in prison, I've been dealing with male prisoners. Men I can handle, but with women, well, I'm afraid I'm just a bit of a soft touch.
And I'm afraid I can't understand that. Prisoners are prisoners and should be treated as such. You'd do well to keep that in mind.
Well, as usual, Miss Bennett, you're absolutely right. Are you going to report it?
I'm thinking of it.
Well, then perhaps a drink after work might help you decide in my favor. How about it?
Staff room. Speaking. Oh, is she? Right, I'll be right there. You'll have to excuse me. I'm wanted in reception. Release procedure. One of our charges, Kerry Vincent, is being released.
Yes, I know. I had the pleasure of telling her that just a few moments ago myself.
A pleasure, Mr. Stewart. My, you are a soft touch, aren't you?
I'll keep that invitation open.
Miss Vincent, I'm with the Standard. How does it feel to be a free woman?
Just say no comment and keep on saying it.
No comment.
Well, is it true that one of the conditions of your parole is that you don't associate with David Austin?
No comment.
Will you be getting a new agent, Miss Vincent?
No comment.
Miss Vincent, do you have any comment to make at all?
No, she doesn't, but I do. Shove off. You two, come on, get out of there. You all right?
No. No, I'm not, Mr. Reed. As a matter of fact, I'm terrified.
Oh, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
You reckon? Jesus, if he's an example of what's to come. What do I have to do to breach my parole?
Well, there you go. And if you need me, you call me, okay? Anytime, day or night.
Yeah, I will. Thanks again. Hello?
Hi, it's me. I know I shouldn't be calling. This is the last time, I promise. I just wanted to see if you were settled in all right.
No, I just got here. David, could you come over and stay with me for a while? I mean, just till I do settle in. Look, you could come up the back stairs and no one would know. I mean...
Kerry, sweetheart, take it easy. It's too risky. If anyone even sees me looking sideways at you, you'll be back inside. Is that what you want?
No, I don't want that. Yes, I'll take care. And you know, thanks for calling.
What's keeping that girl? Do you reckon she might have got sprung passing the note to door?
How the hell should I know?
I can't make it out. Took one dinner up to door, next minute she's back to get another one.
Yeah, well, she probably upended the first one in the cell. Give her a chance to pass the note to Doreen. Also give Doreen a chance to write a reply while they're waiting for the second meal to arrive. The question is, did she manage to get Doreen's note out?
Hi, gang.
Well, what kept you?
Sorry about that. I had a bit of a mop-up
Did
job
you
to
get
do in
the
Doreen's
note?
cell. Yep, and I got a reply.
What's it saying?
I don't know. I haven't had a chance to read it yet.
Smart.
Yes, Mr. Fletcher?
Get your things. Your release has come through.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Fletcher. Y'all hear that, girls? I'm off. Well, anybody want me to pass on any messages to the old folks?
Knock it off, Smart. You know that's against the rules.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Fletcher. I didn't mean anything like letters or notes or stuff like that. I just meant simple things like hellos, happy birthdays, you know, simple things that
Come
I
on,
could
Smart.
memorize. I mean, that'd be all right, wouldn't it, Mr. Fletcher?
Let's have the bag, Smart.
Are you going home today, Helen?
Yep.
I'll get you to sign for these after you've checked them.
You mind if I take these and put a face on? You never know who might be there to meet me.
All right, make it snappy. And don't forget there'll be a body search before you leave.
Oh, you gonna do the honors, Mr. Fletcher?
Don't get smart. Now move it. Come on. Kerry Vincent settled in yet?
Well, she's in. I don't know about settled. Oh, Wendy, could you give me Judy Bryan's file, please? spot at lunch, Jim, and then I'd like to see Judy Bryant. Could you bring her out of isolation for me, please?
Yeah, sure.
Give me about half an hour, would you?
Right.
Oh, that's so much better. Have you checked that for contraband?
Without you present. Now take a seat and I'll do that now. Then you'd undergo the body search, and after that, you're free to go.
Come in.
Judy Bryant to see you, Paul.
Oh, thanks, Jim. Judy, sit down over there, would you please? Well, how are you feeling these days?
Like the $6 million woman?
Judy, I wanted to see you to talk about Sharon's funeral.
You mean I can go?
No, I'm afraid you can't.
Why?
Look, Judy, if you and Sharon had been related...
Related? Come off it, Mr. Reed. Sharon and I were closer than any relative could ever be.
Yes, I know that. Everybody here knows that. And if it were up to me...
But it's not.
No, it's up to a group of people who go only on what they read in one of these.
Can I appeal?
Sure, you could appeal, but by the time you cut through all the red tape, the whole thing will be over and done with.
Can I go back now?
Yes, back to the main building. I'm hoping that the last 24 hours have given you time to rethink this whole situation and to forget any ideas you might have had about Sharon being murdered. Besides, I think you should be with people right now, not left alone to worry and to lose sight of the truth.
The truth? What is the truth, Mr. Reed?
The truth is that Sharon slipped and fell accidentally. Excuse me. Reed.
Yeah, look, it's Kevin Burns here. No, I'm not too good, actually. Look, I've got to talk to you right away. It's really important. No, I'm sorry, I can't go out there, and I don't want to talk about it over the phone either. Yeah, what I wanted was, could you come to my flat? Thanks, Mr. Reed, that's great. Yeah, you know the address?
Yeah, right, Kevin, I've got the address on file. Give me about half an hour, would you? Judy, I have to go out for a little while. Why don't you come down to Mrs. Davidson's office with me and we'll arrange for you to be transferred back to your dormitory.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Reed.
All right, what's so important that you have to drag me away from my work?
Well, I'm sorry, but I've just had a message from Doreen.
Oh, I won't ask you how.
No, but, well, look, a while ago, somebody made her an offer to buy the house. You know, the one her mother left her. Well, she thought about it for a while. We both did. Well, then I got a message to her to ask her why she had sold.
What did she say in her reply?
Well, all she said was, had to sell, he would have killed me. Please do nothing, say nothing. Look, you've got to help him, Mr. Reed. I mean, whoever he is, he could kill her.
What do you want?
Me? I don't want anything. Miss Davidson wants to see you. You know, I've just been thinking, Doreen. You're a pretty lucky young lady. Married to a fine, upstanding young man. $100,000 in the bank to get you started off in a new life. You know, most of the women in this prison would give their right hand to be in that position. And all you have to do is just keep your mouth shut.
I appreciate your concern, Mr. Reed, but what do you have to back it up? You don't even have the note.
The note had to be destroyed. I've already told you that.
Yes, by someone you won't even name.
For that someone's protection, yes.
So what it amounts to is hearsay. Someone told someone who told you that Doreen's life had been threatened.
Doreen told someone. And I'm sure she'll confirm all this when she gets here.
And then what? Come in.
Doreen Anderson, or rather, Mrs. Burns, I should say, to see you.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. Would you mind waiting outside?
Certainly. Come on, Doreen. They're not going to eat you.
Doreen, I shall come straight to the point. Mr. Reed has given me some rather disturbing information about you and the sale of your mother's house.
Well, what's wrong, Mrs. Davidson?
We believe you were under some sort of threat if you did not sell the house.
No, that's not true.
Doreen, did you or did you not get a message through to Kevin saying, and I quote, "Had to sell, he would have killed me"?
Who's he?
Did you send the message?
No, of course not. Why would I have written something like that?
Doreen, nobody said anything about it being a written message.
Oh. Well, it would have to be, wouldn't it?
You tell me.
Look, I don't know what you're going on about. Can I go back now?
One last question. The sale of your house, were you quite happy about it?
Yeah, $100,000. Make anybody happy, wouldn't it?
All right, Doreen. That will be all.
Doreen, if our information is correct, a lot of people, including your husband, have put themselves at risk to get that information to us. Now, don't you think that you owe it to them to tell us the truth?
But I am telling the truth. Honest.
End of story.
Not quite. I had the feeling she was holding back, didn't you?
Yes, of course, but
She almost gave herself away with that written message.
it's not much to go on, is it?
Nevertheless, if there's the vaguest possibility that an inmate is being threatened by a member of staff, then it is my duty to mount a full investigation. Oh, Wendy, could you inform all male members of staff they are to come to my office at once?
It still beats me how she managed to get a message out of Solitary that she'd sell the place.
We got word out to Kev.
Yeah, with a little help from our friends, but we still don't know if Kev got the message.
What message was that, Smith?
Oh, hello, Miss Bennett. It's just Lizzie here. She's a bit worried her daughter might not turn up today. And I said, well, Mrs. Davidson could get a message out to her if that's what Lizzie wanted.
Well, you can stop worrying, Birdsworth. Your visitor's in the garden with Mr. Reed.
What am I going to say?
I'm sure you'll think of something, Birdsworth. Now come along, or the visit will be over before you get there.
And because of these accusations, I have given instructions that Doreen be taken out of Solitary and moved into the main building.
For her protection?
Yes, Mr. Fletcher, and for the protection of my staff.
That sounds reasonable.
Reasonable? It's a con.
What if it's not a con? What if she's telling the truth? I mean, it is our job to look out for our safety as well as our reputations. That's right, isn't it, Miss Davidson?
Yes, Mr. Stewart, that is correct. And by moving her in with the other women, we reduce the threat to her.
And she gets off scot-free.
We shall be keeping a close watch on Doreen until this matter is cleared up. And I assure you, if it is found that it is a con, she will not get off scot-free. I know we are short-staffed at the moment, but I must instruct you to ensure you are in the company of a female member of staff at all times. That is all, gentlemen. Thank you.
Time's up.
But we're just getting to know each other. Oh, yes, Miss Bennett. We've got a lot to catch up on.
Well, there'll be other times, I'm sure.
Yeah, lots of times.
That's if you want.
Oh, of course I do. And I've got to see my little granddaughter, Josie.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'm sorry I didn't bring her in today.
I know. This is no place to bring a teenage girl.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but tomorrow I could.
I'll arrange it.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, Lizzie, that was quite a third degree you put her through. Have you got some doubts that she's your daughter?
Is that what it looked like?
It certainly did. Well?
Well, what?
Do you have any doubts?
No, Mr. Reed. No doubts at all.
Hey!
Oh, Bea. Gee, am I glad to see you.
What are you doing in here? We thought you'd been put away for good.
Oh, Davo okayed it this afternoon.
Well, just as well she did. Look, there are a few things I want to know about, like what is happening about this house of yours, for instance.
Oh, gee, Bea, you're never going to believe the strife I've got myself into.
All right, you
bitch.
On your feet. Who, me?
You're the only bitch I can see in here. On your feet.
Hey, what's hitting you?
You are.
What's going on and what's all this on your feet crap?
Oh, you're going to get yours, Smith, but you're going to see it coming.
What do you want about?
You know what I'm on about, Sharon. You didn't give her a chance, did you? Just one good hard push from me.
bloody head, girl.
Let me go. Let me go.
Shut up, Trudy, just shut up. Now come with me.
You bitch. You murdering bitch.
Come on, calm down, Judy.
Why should I? That bitch in there killed Sharon, and I'm going to prove it even if it kills me.
But Bea didn't kill Sharon.
Oh, come off it. You're not going to tell me you believe that accident crap. Accident, my ass. She was pushed down those stairs. We know why, too, don't we? Because she hates drugs and drug pushers. Okay, Doreen, I know that Sharon was no angel, but she didn't deserve that.
Bea didn't do it.
Who?
Can't we just leave it at that? It wasn't Bea.
You tell me.
All right. But it won't do you any good. Because without proof, there's nothing you or me or any of us in here can do. Not a thing.
Hello again.
Oh, Miss Bennett.
Oh, we're off duty. Vera,
All right then, Vera.
that invitation this afternoon, is it still open?
Well, actually, I've got to meet someone here in a couple. No, look, I'm sorry. How about dinner tomorrow night? Would you like that?
I'd be delighted.
All right then. Well, I'll see you back at the factory in the morning then.
See you there.
All right. Good night, Vera.
Excuse me.
Doc Stewart.
There you are, you wee devil. Right on time, too.
Deal's a deal.
It is that.
For you.
You little beauty. Would you like a drink?
Why not?
George?
Who is it?
It's me, David.
David. David, what are you doing here? You shouldn't be here.
Just open the door, please. Well, congratulations. 2 hours out of jail and you hit the headlines. Who arranged this press? Your new agent?
Press,
Oh, come on. Don't tell me you haven't read it. Prison artist freed, new life, new agent.
I did not give this information to the press. I mean, look, there was a reporter at the jail when I was let out. I mean, he did ask me whether I was going to look for a new agent, but I replied no comment.
Really?
If you don't believe me, ask Paul Reed.
Paul Reed?
Yeah, Paul Reed is a social worker at Wentworth. He drove me over here.
What can I say?
Oh, I don't know. Sorry might help.
Yes, of course, I'm sorry. I just read the headlines and I...
You saw 10% of my potential income slipping away from you, is that it?
No. No, it goes much deeper than that. I think that I saw you slipping away from me.
I don't understand. I thought ours was strictly a business relationship.
So did I.
And that any relationship had to end because of the conditions of my parole.
Well, I thought I could accept that even this morning when I phoned, but when I read those headlines this afternoon, I realized that you mean much more to me than just a business relationship. Oh, so much more.
David, you mustn't. Look, the parole boy, someone find...
Look, the parole board will understand. They're not inhuman.
Mom.
Hello, Mum.
Hello.
Oh, say hello to your Nan, Josie.
Hello, Nan. Hello, Josie. Oh, please, Nan, couldn't we? That'd be fantastic. All of us living in the same house together, just like a real family.
I think we'd better let Nan think that over first.
No need to think about it. I reckon it's a great idea.
Fantastic. Then you'll be able to tell me about being in prison all this time.
Oh, I'm not so sure about that. Best forgotten, I'd say.
Yeah, best forgotten.
All right, then. At least you'll be able to help me with my homework.
Sorry, love. I wasn't very good at school.
Oh, well, I don't do too good at school either.
Why is that, love?
Because of all the time I have off.
I think we'd better be going now, Mum. Josie gets pretty tired and we don't want to overdo things, do we, love?
No, Mum.
We'll come back again as soon as we can, all right?
Yeah. You make sure you do. Goodbye, love.
Bye, Nan.
Brian, aren't you supposed to be outside working?
Yeah. But suddenly I'm frightened of these stairs. You knew my friend Sharon Gilmore, didn't you? She died on these stairs. She fell all the way down to the bottom. It was an accident, they said. And you and I know that that's not true. Don't we, Mr. Stewart?
Such a sweet little thing. Looks a bit like me when I was her age.
Wouldn't know about that, Lizzie.
Don't you reckon she looks a little bit like
Of
me?
course she does. She looks very much like you.
Thank you, Miss Bennett. The case seems to be running quite smoothly for once.
Mrs. Davidson.
Yes, Miss Bennett.
Mrs. Davidson, I think I should know why Doreen Burns was released from solitary. Or do you have a particular reason for not informing your staff of the situation?
No, Miss Bennett. The circumstances which brought about her release concerned a complaint by her against a male member of staff. But you are quite right. You are entitled to an explanation. I shall be calling a meeting of senior staff later this morning. Now, if you will excuse me.
Good morning, Vera. Or, rather, Miss Bennett.
Good morning, Mr. Stewart. How was your meeting with Mr. Westmore last night?
Fine. You know Mr. Westmore, do you?
I didn't realize he delivered your mail to you. By the way, did he happen to mention whether or not he'd been able to acquire Burns's house?
No, he didn't. He said he was rather interested
You know,
in the
Mr.
place.
Stewart, something's just struck me as being rather odd.
And what's that?
Doreen Burns. Mr. Westmore wanted to buy her house and she refused to sell. Then she was threatened by an unknown male officer and had to be released from solitary, obviously for her own protection. And then last night at the hotel, Mr. Westmore arrives and hands you a rather large envelope.
I don't see what my meeting with Westmore and the pub has got to do with all this.
You must admit it's rather interesting. Now, Burns happens to sell her house as well. Oh, by the way, Mrs. Davidson's calling a staff meeting later this morning to discuss the whole incident. I'll see you there.
give me roses. I wish he could again, but that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines.